good, YouTube? It's your boy 2K the God, my man Sess. Welcome to the Gods of Boxing Talk. Now I got my man Tim back on the show once again. It's my man right here, one of the most knowledgeable young cats. I don't know if his dad was watching boxing while he was naked, but for some reason, my man Tim knows about shit that when he was a motherfucking sperm cell, the nigga knows about shit, B. So big ups to my man Timmy back on the show. Again, we're going to talk about one of the little guys. In this situation, one of the more dominant little guys at strawweight, which is, for you casual motherfuckers, the 105 weight class. That's going to be Wanheng Menayothin. He's 43-0 with 17 knockouts. Now, Tim actually gave me the idea about doing this video. I had wanted to do a video on him. I was pushing it back. Then my man Tim came up with a post on one of the social media websites that we're on together, and he posted about this guy, and he was pretty much asking cats if they knew who he was, and that made me want to bring this man to light even more. So I'm gonna go to my man Tim first, and we're gonna play a little bit of devil's advocate for this video. But I'm gonna go to my man Tim. Tim, tell the people, what do you think about Menayothin, man?
I think he's a really good fighter. I just think he needs the bodies on his resume to prove it to the people. You know, he just beat Saul Juarez in his last fight.
Yep.
For people that don't know, Saul Juarez is one of the top 10, actually top 5 strawweights in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
He actually, the guy that he just beat, Saul Juarez, had a trilogy with this dude that Menayothin took the belt off of. What's his name? Oswaldo Novoa.
Okay.
They had a trilogy together, and 2 out of the 3 fights Juarez won.
Okay.
When they first fought, yo, it's like a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, Valdez was. Damn, I mean, Juarez, what was his record? I think it was like 10-1 coming into the fight.
Yeah.
And Novoa was 6-2-1. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's how early it was in their careers when they fought.
Right.
And he won a unanimous decision. Then the second time they met up, Juarez was 22-4, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Novoa was 14-6-2, I think.
Okay.
And it ended in a technical decision.
Okay.
So they had to run it back one more time.
Oh shit, 3 times.
And yeah, and then Juarez won the third fight.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, Novoa is no slouch. Just
Right.
because you know they're okay, he was just a title holder. No, he actually beat the current IBF title holder, Argumedo.
Yes, I know who that is.
2 out of 3 times that they fought.
Yes, he did.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So Novoa was no slouch. So Menayothin beat this dude, and then he just beat Juarez. So you know he's beating some good names, but there's a lot of other guys out there that I would like to see him fight. From knockout CP Freshmart.
Ooh, I got some shit on that one, but go ahead.
Yeah, you already know. I would like to see him against undefeated Melvin Jerusalem, who's 10-0 with 7 knockouts.
Yep.
Hecky Butler, I would love to see him fight too.
Nah.
I know he just lost.
He just lost to that cat, Byron.
Rojas, who
Rojas,
lost to
yeah.
Freshmart.
Yep. Twice. He lost to Freshmart twice. But
But,
Hecky Butler was actually my favorite strawweight at one time, B. Yeah.
Very good boxer, dude. He had an off night against Rojas.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, but he's one of those dudes that I could see giving Menayothin some problems.
Okay.
But to be honest, man, the only dude that I could see possibly beating him is Freshmart. I don't think anybody else in that division fucks with him, dude.
By the way, knockout CP Freshmart, he's a Thai cat. They got them fucked up ass names like that. No disrespect, no disrespect to the Thailand, viewers, but it is what it is. That's the number 2 strawweight in the world. Menayothin, of course, is the number 1 strawweight in the world. Sess.
What up?
My man, Mr. King of the Breakdown. What you think of this fighter, B?
Man, you know what? I'm I'm actually in agreement with Tim. I think he's a very good fighter.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, I think he's got good fundamentals. He has a very good jab. He's got a real nice jab. He stays behind it, and the only thing that I don't like about him is I don't think he has very good defense.
No, he doesn't. That's one of my cons. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think he has very good defense. But like I said, I like his body rhythm. I like what he does with his jab. He does have a pretty good ability to kind of throw some counter punches and come over the top.
Right.
If you try to let your hands go. In the Saul Juarez fight, that was one of the things that I noticed that he was catching Juarez with was coming over the top of some of his punches.
Mm-hmm.
And again, when he fought Young G Bay or some shit like these names, man.
Yeah, they got some fucked up names, bro.
Yeah, his jab was on showcase, man. He was knocking that cat head back. With his jab. So like I said, I like that about him. I like his fundamentals. But I said the only thing that I really don't like is the defensive aspect of his game. He's definitely a guy that I would recommend that people watch. I didn't know too much about him, but like I said, I'm looking at him and he looks like a pretty good fighter. He's 43-0, even though a lot of the victories on his resume are against guys that were 11-7, 5-6.
Yep.
But I would definitely love to see him in a meaningful fight. I think the Saul Juarez fight was a pretty good fight for him.
Yeah.
And he did his thing in that fight. The only thing I didn't like is against a fighter in Saul Juarez. It took him a very long time to get started, and that's Menayothin. It took him pretty long to get going in that fight, and I thought.
What'd you say, Tim?
About 5 rounds it took him to finally get settled in and get his timing down.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's something that I'm always going to be on the lookout for any fighter is when he steps up in competition or when he goes against a guy that's supposedly on the same level or is pretty good,
right.
And he holds his hands for the first few rounds because he's trying to really feel the guy out.
Yep.
I don't think that that's all the way necessary. I do believe in the first few rounds, maybe the first couple rounds, I understand getting the timing and getting the rhythm of that fighter, but it should not go past that. So that's something that could be a problem if he comes up against these other guys in the division that you guys mentioned earlier. I don't even want to butcher their names, but
hey.
but that's something that could definitely be a problem. But like I said, if he stays behind that jab and uses his fundamentals, he should be okay. But I definitely have to check out these other guys and see what they're bringing to the table.
Woo, shit, boy, I'm over here fuming right now. I can't wait to talk, B. Look, okay, let me go with the pros first. All right. The signature combination I noticed that Menayothin throws is the jab and then the straight right to the motherfucking body. That shit is gorgeous. That motherfucker comes up, whop, boom, comes back down low. Now, he throws variations with that shit. He may do a double jab and then the straight right to the body, okay? Beautiful combination. He does magnificent body work. One of the first things I thought when I watched him fight was, hey, yo, he's a little Miguel Cotto. You know what I'm saying? He looks just like Miguel Cotto, bro. How he fucking fights. How he throws combination. Yeah. Exactly. How he throws combinations. How my man is, how he does the body work on the inside. He looks just like Miguel Cotto, B. Okay? He has a high offensive IQ. He places punches very well. He knows exactly where he wants to hit his opponent, and he's excellent at setting up his combinations, B. Okay? He's 43 and 0 with 17 knockouts, which means he may lack power, but his excellent body work wears his opponents down, B. By like round like 8, niggas is huffing and puffing, hoping that it's really round 12. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't beat that body up so badly by that point. Motherfuckers don't want no more of that shit. Okay? Now, it's time to eat. The cons. I saw absolutely no upper body movement, B. Yeah. Like, that head was just sitting right there. Now, he's kind of similar, not all the way, but he's kind of similar to Kazuda Ioka. People, if you don't know what that is, we just did a video on the little guys right before this. Kazuda Ioka, excuse me, will be fighting Juan Francisco Estrada. Possibly the WBA ordered that fight. Kazuda Ioka has a high guard. That's one of the things that I've seen in Menayothin, man. He keeps a high guard when he's not throwing punches, when he's not being aggressive. And in that, he lacks head movement, he lacks upper body movement, B. He also can be planted for too long, and he lacks lateral movement. He's really just standing right there. With those two negatives in his style, I could see him being completely outboxed by a craftier, rangier, slicker counterpuncher. Now, the good news is, ain't nobody at strawweight like that. That's the fucking good news. There's nobody at strawweight that can fight like I just said and possibly exploit Menayothin's flaws. Another thing, and I know my man Tim ain't gonna like this. Miguel Cotto is susceptible to the uppercut.
Oh, I know.
Same thing with Menayothin. That's what I think. That's what I see. Some of the same problems with that high guard. I think he's susceptible to the uppercut, and his guard it's like this, but it's always wide open right down the middle. B. I think a very smart boxer can hit him with the uppercut anytime they want. Okay. Another thing, he fights exclusively in Thailand. He has not moved outside of Thailand. All his fights are in Thailand. All 43-0, Thailand. Now, the thing about that is, at the smaller weight divisions, there really aren't too many American fighters. You got a lot of some guys from Mexico at strawweight. There used to be a lot of fucking Africans at strawweight. I don't know what happened over the years, but majority of them are Japanese, Thailand, pretty much. So him fighting in Thailand may be because pretty much at his division, that's really all there is at that weight is Thai fighters. Okay. Yep. Now, one of the things that I found in research, there's some hatred out there on Menayothin. A lot of really, I'm gonna say, big time advanced boxing enthusiasts such as us three, right? Because ain't no regular boxing motherfuckers talking about Menayothin. They don't even know who he is. But they're saying that Menayothin is a cherry picker. And Tim, I'll show you the article when we get off. They're saying that he's a cherry picker, and that's my words. But they're basically saying that he's promoted by, I'm about to fuck this name up because this shit is not American friendly whatsoever. Virat Vika Rara Tuwawang, whatever the fuck that is. Oh my goodness. Nigga, this shit got like 27 letters, B. It got every letter in the alphabet, B, in the last name. You know what I'm saying? But they're promoted by this particular individual, and this individual is known for pretty much setting up fights for guys that he favors against guys that shouldn't be in those fights. Okay, a couple of fights that I noted were against Jeffrey Galero. These are guys that apparently were title defenses of Menayothin that these guys didn't deserve to be in the same ring with him, whether they were inexperienced or just completely overmatched. You got Jeffrey Galero, you got Jerry Tamogden, and you got a guy named Go Adara. Those were all WBC 105 title defenses for him. He beat Jeffrey Galero by easy unanimous decision. He won every fucking round. He KO'd Tamogden, and he KO'd Adara. So a lot of people are like, yeah, he's good. He's 43-0, but who the fuck is he fighting? Okay. Before I'm gonna say this one more thing, I'm gonna turn it over to the panel. My man Tim mentioned knockout CP Freshmark. Well, he's also promoted by the same individual. And he's setting up fights for him, so to speak. That
they ain't gonna fight each other.
Exactly, to where they're actually fighting guys that they know they can beat. So they're never gonna meet in the ring because they're promoted by the same individual. This guy wants Thailand to run shit, so they will never get in the ring. Kind of fucked up when you think about it. Now I was looking at the 105 division. Like I said, there's nobody there that can fuck with Menayothin unless it's gonna be CP Freshmark, but they not gonna fight. But I'm looking at the 108 division, the junior flyweight division. Well, you got Donnie Nietes, you got Ryochi Taguchi, you got Moises Fuentes, you got Pedro Guevara. I think a lot of those guys at 108 can fuck with Menayothin, but 105, I don't know. What'd you think about that, Tim? That devil's advocate.
I mean, you made some solid points, you really did, and I didn't know that they were both promoted by the same guy.
Yep.
And the way you just broke it down to me, they ain't fighting each other. I already see it. Yeah. Like I said before, though, I think he's a really good fighter. You pointed out his flaws, and I agree, he does have his flaws. But I think, like I said, he's a really good boxer with a great sense of timing. I don't know if you've seen his timing.
Absolutely.
Once he gets down, he's pinpoint.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. That's why I said he had a high offensive IQ, and
right.
His punches are well placed. I mean, it's a situation where, like you said, if he's adjusted to his opponent offensively, game over. I mean, he's gonna beat, and he don't have the power, so he's just gonna beat you up, kind of like Andre Ward. He's gonna beat the fuck out of you and wear you down for 12 rounds, B. Straight up.
Yeah.
And I think a 3-pound difference doesn't make much.
No.
Make much of a difference in how he comes at you. I think 108, I think he could make an impact. I don't know if he beats, a guy like Donnie Nietes. I don't think he beats him.
Really?
No, I don't think he beats him. But I think he's competitive.
Yeah.
I think he definitely could make a splash up there at 108. But I don't have much negative things to say about him when it comes to skill set.
Okay.
I think personally, 105 is where he should where he's best suited at.
Yeah.
And if he wants to stay at one division, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
There's a lot of great strawweights that stood at strawweight.
Yeah.
But it's up to him really.
Yeah.
It's his destiny.
If I were him, and Seth, jump in at any point in time.
All right.
If I were him, I would try to take Ryochi Taguchi. I always fuck their names up. Ryochi Taguchi's head at junior flyweight. He's the number 2 ranked junior flyweight right now. I think that the notion, I agree to an extent, Tim, that staying in one division is not a problem. But we hold a lot of these other boxers to criticism when they stick around in one division and there's clearly no competition. Prime example, Triple G. So, and then at the smaller weights, jumping divisions is very fucking easy. I mean, Hecky Butler jumped divisions already. I think he was the junior flyweight champion at one time, if I'm not mistaken. YouTube, go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Hecky Butler is a 2-division champion. I think he beat that African cat. I'm gonna fuck his first name up, but I'm gonna just say it like Nathan or Nawathi. His last name is Joyi.
I ain't saying that.
yeah, it's all fucked up. But his last name is Joyi, Joyi. He used to be one of my favorite strawweights as well. He beat that cat twice, I believe. I think once was at 108, if I'm not mistaken. But anyhow, it's easy to jump weights. I mean, you're looking at Roman Gonzalez. He's jumping weights like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think he should take the number 2 junior flyweight's head. I really believe he should take Donnie Nietes' head. I think that's an excellent fight. I think that will be actually, it will never be promoted or at least advertised the way that, a Kovalev Ward or Golovkin Canelo. It would never be advertised to that degree but it would be a great fight for boxing enthusiasts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
Who do you think would win that fight?
Yeah. Yeah.
If they were to make it happen, who do you think would win?
I really believe the guy that beats Menayothin is a guy who can box from the outside. Donnie Nietes is a fucking hardcore slugging ass motherfucker. I think it's a war. If Menayothin can, has he ever been? I don't even think he's ever been knocked down, Menayothin. So his chin really, I don't think it's been tested against a major power puncher at 105. But
yeah,
if he can hold up, I think it's a war. I think Menayothin can take it, B. I really do.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Seth.
Oh no. I was gonna say I'm in agreement with what you said. I definitely want to see him move up, just for the facts that you stated. When a guy is really dominant at a particular weight class and there's really not much left for him to do or not much that he can do, and Menayothin's situation because of the promoter that he has, I think that he has to move up, man. Move up. Yeah. 3 pounds does not make a big difference. No. Challenge yourself and go after Donnie Nietes, and let's see it. I actually like the contrast in that fight. Yep. You got Menayothin, who for the most part I think is a boxer, because he's definitely not a boxer puncher, and he's not a puncher, or a slugger. So
I got him pegged as a boxer puncher, and the reason why I have him pegged as that is because he leads with the jab, but he's mainly trying to attack you at close range.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. So even if we give him that title, let's say he is a boxer puncher and Donnie Nietes having the style that he has, more of the slugger style. I think that's a great fight. I think that's a great contrast. Yeah. So, and actually, when I was watching Menayothin, that's the style that I thought would beat him.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because he uses his jab, and to me, he looks like a fighter that at least needs distance to do some of the things that he likes to do. You mentioned earlier he does have a good body attack. Mm-hmm. But I do believe if you stay on top of him, you push him back, then you can definitely beat him. Okay. I believe he does have a nice firm stance, and when I say firm stance, I mean that in the sense of he's a fighter that I think it's kind of tough to push him back.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like Golovkin. You know, I've always said, and I'm not comparing Menayothin's style to Golovkin's in any way, shape, or form, but for the point that I'm trying to make, I've always said that guys like Golovkin, guys like Sergey Kovalev, they're very, very, very confident in their stance, okay, and how they place their feet.
Right.
So it's very hard to push them back. Menayothin is one of those guys that, like you said earlier, he doesn't really have a lot of head movement, but he does have a particular body rhythm. And his rhythm, I believe, allows him to kind of come forward, or it allows him to kind of, keep a guy in front of him. So definitely, the way to beat him is stay on top of his ass. Stay on top of him, hit him with some nice, hard, crisp shots. And so I definitely think, bringing it back to the point I was making earlier about Donnie Nietes, that's the contrast that I like. That's the type of fight that I want to see him in. Run up against a guy that's going to bring it to you. The guy's a little heavier than you. So challenge yourself and let's see it.
Yeah, I kind of overdid it a little bit. Nietes isn't like a motherfucking Marcos Maidana.
Yeah.
He's not like that, but he will get into a war.
He's vicious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good point, Tim. Good point.
What'd you say, Tim?
He's just vicious.
Right.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So but still, it still stands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He would be the guy that you're looking for, Sess, that will probably take down Menayothin. And Tim already said he thinks Nietes beats him.
Nice. Okay.
Just making a point. I just think that's more of a matter of styles making fights.
Right.
There you go.
But I think Menayothin can move up into that division. And let's say they were to fight and Menayothin loses, I still think he could make that his division, regardless of them. You know, it's like I'll give you an example of like Willie Pep versus Sandy Sadler, right?
Right.
You know, the styles make fights. Sandy Sadler beat Willie Pep 3 out of 4 times.
Yeah.
But whose division was it still?
Peps. Yep.
Pep's division, right? You know, a lot of the guys that Sadler lost to, a Pep beat. I think it would be a scenario like that with Menayothin style. He could beat the other guys that I think, you know, would beat Nieves. That's what I think personally.
Okay. That's what's up. One last question, fellas, before we wrap it up. Will he be? Let me say this: if he gets to 50-0, will they even talk about this?
No.
Damn, nigga, can I get a second? Why so confident, B?
Because his resume is devoid of any real competition. You know, I think he has a couple cats on his resume with Saul Juarez and young Gil Bay. They both had over 20 fights. I'm sure he's got a couple of other guys on the resume that had over 20 fights. But at the end of the day, his resume is composed of a fighter that was 2-4, and that was, I believe, that was 3 or 4 fights ago.
Right.
You know, or maybe a little bit further back, but it definitely wasn't over 10 fights ago where he was fighting a guy that was 2-4. He's got a fighter on there that's like 11-7 or some shit like that. So, I for those reasons, I don't think it's gonna be talked about. Also because it is a strawweight, 105 division, it's not gonna get a lot of attention. But when you start talking about the undefeateds and, you know, breaking records and things of that nature, your resume has to have somebody on it.
Yes.
In my opinion, you know, you need. And I don't want to take up too much time, but when you've got a record like that, it takes greats to make that record valid. It takes other fighters that bring something to the table to make that undefeated record, you know, really, really mean something. You know, so and not taking anything away from Menayothin, but his weight division itself is devoid of that. So I don't think I'd be really praising him too much if he makes 50-0. I think that's a great feat because, you know, you put on another pair of gloves, step in the ring with another man, anything can happen.
Right.
But I just wouldn't make too much out of it.
What do you think about that question, Tim?
Like I said, it's about the bodies on the way to 50-0.
Yeah.
You know, if you're fighting a bunch of guys with single-digit wins along the way, it's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're making like fights happen in between that aren't for your belt, because he's done it before, where there was a fight in between where he wasn't defending his title and after.
Oh no.
That's true.
So it depends on who you fight. You know, if you're fighting the top 10 strawweights on your way to 50-0. then yeah, it makes a statement. But if you're doing shit like that, it's not, it's not really to talk about. It's nothing like if Chocolatito went to 50-0.
Right. Absolutely. And that was my next fucking statement. Good shit though, B. You got it before I could. That's totally different. Chocolatito is beating he's beating somewhere upwards of 8 world champions and shit, former and current world champions. Totally different scenario. And by the way, to support what you just said, after he knocked out Jerry Tamagdan, which was his second WBC minimum weight title defense, he fought a guy by the name of Ardi Bayung 4 months later, who was 2-4.
Yeah.
While he was still the champion. Another tidbit: Menayothin has not fought, better yet, beaten any of the current top 10 strawweights in the world right now.
Yeah. I thought Saul Juarez was a top 10 strawweight.
So what they got right now, the top 10 strawweights will be, let me pull it up. It's going to be Menayothin at number 1. We got CP Freshmart at 2. Byron Rojas at 3. Hecky Butler at 4. Jose Argumedo at 5, Katsunori Takayama at 6, Carlos Butrago at 7, Riku Kano at 8, Jose Jimenez at 9, and you're right, my bad, Saul Juarez at number 10.
Yeah.
So he beat the number 10 guy. Okay. So I think he should continue with that. Try to get a fight with Hecky Butler, even though he lost. He's still, number 4 on this list, right? Try to get a fight with Brian Rojas, Jose Argumedo. A lot of those guys have actually fought each other already, okay? So he needs to get in the mix and start fighting those guys in the top 5 at the strawweight division so he can get better names on his resume and we can start talking about him more.
Right, like I said before, I think right now 105 is where he would be best suited at to get a feel for that world-class level. You know, fight the world-class fighters in your division right now before you actually move up and start fighting the bigger killers on a world-class level.
Absolutely.
Get adjusted to that.
Absolutely.
But if he were to move up to 108 right now, there's no issue with that. But if he wants to stay at 105, there's no issue with that either.
Well, if you move up to 108 right now, then you need to take the head of a motherfucker in the top 10. That's in the top 10 pound of the division, not fucking just WBC. I'm talking about in the division. Not of a specific sanctioning body. Yeah, exactly. Take one of their fucking heads so your legacy can be cemented. You see what I'm saying? All right. Word up. Good discussion, people. YouTube, do what you do in the comment section. I want to thank my man, Mr. Tim, for coming back on the show. Man, I want to see Tim battle somebody, man. Like,
yeah.
I'm about to do some shit where I'm going to have Tim on here with an old motherfucker like 10 years older than me or some shit. And them niggas talk about Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I want to see what the fuck happens. Oh, shit. Thank my man Tim for coming on the show once again. And I want to thank my man Sus for showing up as always.
Oh, yeah.
YouTube, do what you do in the comment section. We're going to be real. This is real talk for real fans. 1.